Longlegs is a horror film written and directed by Osgood Perkins. It stars Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage, who also produces the film. The film follows an FBI agent tasked with tracking down an occultist serial killer responsible for murdering multiple families throughout the state of Oregon, without having been physically present in the crimes. I usually try to temper my expectations going into any film, but I must say this was one of the best marketing campaigns I've seen in years. The trailers and posters had great style to them, and the whole campaign being built around hiding Nicolas Cage and building anticipation about how creepy he was going to be was a genius idea. In a decade where Hollywood is often really bad at marketing, this got me very intrigued. I also love Nicolas Cage, of course, and I was really keen to see Micah Monroe, as I hadn't seen her since 2014's It Follows. It is hard to talk about this film without talking spoilers, but this will be a spoiler-free review. After seeing this film, it has taken me a long time to gather my thoughts, and I am still very mixed on it. The cinematography is beautiful. The colours are dark but vibrant. The shots linger, and there is always so much negative space in the frame. Close-ups often situate the actors to the left or right, causing your eyes to dart back and forth between them and the space behind them, expecting something to appear in a doorway or outside a window. The opening of the film was effective mostly because of the stark music. Is it a little jump scare heavy? Yes, but I couldn't help but feel that it was almost making light of elevated horror cliches. The fact that I can't tell if its cliche elements are stylized comedy or genuine attempts at scares makes the film feel a bit tonally awkward at times. Micah Monroe plays FBI agent Lee Harker and gives a truly excellent performance, one of the best I've seen so far this year. I was so impressed by her ability to convey a melting pot of emotions all through body language and facial expressions, as her dialogue is minimal throughout the film. She is clearly traumatized by the job, yet determined to do it. She isn't just socially awkward, it is deeper than that. Her anxiety seemed to reflect that of an autistic person. I don't know if that was the intention, but I honestly saw it as a potent depiction of autism in an adult. I was immensely intrigued by her character, and it is for her alone that I feel compelled to return to this film at some point, and hone my feelings further. Early on in the film, Lee is shown to have some sort of sixth sense, a psychic-like ability when it comes to uncovering details of the case that she has been assigned to. It is too subtle to claim that it is anything supernatural, but that's part of my issue. The film touches on supernatural elements, but never really fleshes them out. It leaves me wishing that the film was played in a more down-to-earth manner. However, if it was, it would probably end up feeling even more like The Silence of the Lambs, and it already feels too much like that film. I loved the feeling of the world that we were in, but they didn't do a whole lot of world building in that sense. Nicolas Cage is unrecognizable here. Cage is a truly fearless actor. He throws himself into every role and is never afraid to go to bizarre places. This makes his performance in this film feel unpredictable, and I was largely pleased with his role in the film, which isn't necessarily large, but due to his absence from the marketing, you shouldn't be surprised by that. Kiernan Shipka is a really underrated actress, so I was happy to also see her in a small role. Act 1 builds a compelling mystery. I loved the slow, investigative tone. I was so struck by the colours of the film. It looked like an old 70s film. I couldn't help but feel like the film was style over substance though, as the narrative unfolded in ways that confused me a bit later on. The screenplay seems to think that it is smarter than what it actually is, and even though there were some effective scares in the third act, it often felt convoluted and predictable. I walked out of this film feeling admittedly disappointed in its convoluted script. I felt fatigued in the second half due to its slow pacing and generic jump scares. That being said, there really is something here. I haven't stopped thinking about the film since I saw it, and that means something. It is so sharply directed with very striking visuals and a great tone. Osgood Perkins clearly has an immense love and understanding for the horror genre, which can't be surprising since he is the son of Anthony Perkins from Psycho. This is the 4th film he has directed, and not only do I feel that I need to revisit it, I also want to check out his other films. There's always something interesting about when you don't really gel with a film, you don't even know if you really enjoy it, but you feel like you need to see it again. I am pretty split. The screenplay feels like it should have had 2 more drafts, maybe. It's convoluted and derivative, but the cinematography is beautiful, the characters are intriguing, and the performances are really strong. The film is quickly becoming one of the most financially successful released by Neon, and I'm really happy about that because they are a studio that distributes really cool films like Parasite, Spencer, and Triangle of Sadness. I am excited to see what they continue to put out. Longlegs seems to be quite polarizing for audiences. Some love it, some hate it, so if you're interested in it, I would say check it out, because even though I was mixed on it, you may love it a lot more than I did. If you have any insight on the film, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I would love to have a discussion about it and love to learn about some things that I may have missed and maybe correct some of my gripes with the film. I recommend checking it out for the ominous tone and effective performances.